I am a limb difference girly. Don't know if you can see, I have a missing finger here. I used to think that having a limb difference was one of those things that I needed to hide. I felt very embarrassed by it. I felt a lot of shame around having a missing finger. And nowadays, it couldn't be more different. I have realized that being different, having this limb difference, is something that I want to celebrate and something I want to share, because it's honestly like one of my favorite things about myself now. When I was 6 years old, I lost my finger in an ice skating accident. The thing that I used to be most insecure about has turned out to be one of my biggest strengths. I truly believe in my heart that these things that we see as flaws, these things that make us different, they're actually some of the things that make us the most beautiful and the most magical. Yeah, so as I said, when I was 6, I lost my finger in an ice skating accident. And growing up, I didn't really know anyone who was like me. I still don't really know anyone who's like me. I used to hide it in photos. I always used to sit like this with it hidden. I used to put it behind my back. I used to be very ashamed of it. But I've stopped seeing my body as something that needs to be fixed. I have lived many mindsets since losing my finger. I've had many different opinions and many outlooks on how I feel about it. I went from a place of feeling a lot of shame and embarrassment and trying to hide it, trying to not let people see it, to becoming very comfortable with myself, having self-acceptance for who I am and where I'm at and what my body is. I've been on the whole journey of getting prosthetics. I've had prosthetics, been very interested in robot fingers, which I think is really cool, and I would love to have a robot finger one day, I'm not gonna lie, but it's not my focus. My focus is not to change myself. Now I'm in a place where I want to share having a limb difference. I think that it's something that makes me really unique. I really want to normalize limb differences now, because I feel like you don't really see them that much in media. You don't really see it in the industries that I'm interested in. I've only just started seeing it on television, people with limb differences, and not people being on television not because of their limb differences, but just because of who they are. And I think that's a really beautiful thing and something that should really be encouraged. And I'm going to talk about my experience today and how this has become my biggest superpower. Instead of thinking things like, why did this happen to me? Why can't I just be normal? I'm not normal, let's be real. How can I work with my body? And what does my body need from me? How can I honor myself and give myself enough grace with what my body is? If you are a limb difference girly or a limb difference person, I really hope that this video inspires you, makes you feel less alone, and gives you some insight on how you can embrace your body in all of its beautifulness and all of its differences. Talking about adapting myself, when I first lost my finger, I was in a cast for quite a while, and I had to relearn how to write again. And I struggled because now my writing is limited. I can write for probably about 10 minutes before it starts to hurt. And when I was in school, I didn't really listen to my body. Everyone at school is writing constantly. It's like the main thing that you're doing at school, right? You're writing in books. And so I would spend all day writing, and I would be in so much pain. I used to push myself through because I used to think that's what I had to do. But nowadays I really know my limits. Not to say that I'm limited, but I just have to listen to myself so much more. I don't force myself to write for long periods of time because there's no point in hurting myself over writing. I now take breaks when I write rather than waiting until my body forces me to take a break. Another thing that is big and it's a huge part of my life is music. I'm mainly a singer, but I'm also a producer, and I grew up playing the piano, and I have had to adapt playing the piano. I have had to learn how to play the piano in a way that doesn't hurt my finger. I cannot really hit the key that strongly with this finger. And also things like getting cold, like when I've played really cold gigs, I'll get onto that in a minute. But rather than thinking like, I can't do this is really hard, like I'm not going to be able to do this anymore, I adapt and I think, how can I learn how to play the piano in a way that won't hurt my finger? What is my version of doing this? And I think that's important for any type of difference, like whether we're talking about like a physical disability, like losing a limb, or even if you're neurodivergent. It's not about not being able to do something, it's about changing your system and changing your lifestyle to fit around your needs. Something that has really helped me on my limb difference journey, making myself feel beautiful, making my hands feel beautiful, because I have beautiful hands. There's no denying that. I love my hands. And I didn't realize how beautiful my hands were for a very long time because I was so focused on the finger. And now I think my finger is beautiful. Like genuinely, I think it's so cute and dinky and adorable. And so nowadays I embrace it, you know, like when I'm on stage, I bought this like finger brace and I bedazzled it. I put loads of rhinestones on it. And so whenever I'm on stage, when I'm doing music videos, when I'm doing photo shoots, I'll always wear my finger brace and I'll try and show it off because, again, I want there to be inclusion in media and music. I want limb differences to be normalized. And so I think my way of doing that is by showing it off and showing the world like, hey, I can do this too. I'm a limb difference girly, but here I am on stage showing off my finger and what I can do despite everything. For years, I literally wanted to hide it and stop anyone from being reminded that this is what I have. Whereas now I'm like, look at me, look at my finger. I'm really putting like crystals and glamour and sparkle into it and just showing it off to be like the beautiful thing that it is. I also wear lots of rings. Not at the moment, I'm having a very slow day today, so I've literally just put some earrings in. But when I'm out and about, if I'm going places, if I'm on stage, I'm always wearing rings. I've always got my nails done. I learned how to do gel nails quite recently, and it's honestly been such a pivotal thing for me because I feel so pretty with my nails done and my ring. You know, I get compliments all the time on my nails. And people definitely see my finger, but it feels beautiful. I feel beautiful. Yeah, my hands are so pretty and no one can tell me otherwise. I've learned that my body has its own needs when it comes to my finger. It's not something that I've been through and I can just ignore. Because particularly in cold weather, I feel it so much more. It's so sensitive. There's a lot of nerve endings on the end of my finger. It's very sensitive. If I bang it, it's so fucking painful. Like, you wouldn't believe. It's so bad. But also in the cold, like, I feel the cold so much on my finger. This finger gets so much colder than the rest of my hands. And so I've had to learn to honor that by wearing really cozy gloves, hand warmers and soft fabrics, just things that will protect my body. I don't feel like I have to power through because I should be able to do it. Like, no girl, I've learned to give myself what I need. It's not that my hand is sensitive and annoying and I should push through. It's actually my body is communicating with me and so I need to listen. Your body is always giving you information, whether you've got pain, whether you've got sensations. And I think as a society, it's very windy, we're kind of taught to push through these things. But I've learned that the opposite is true. You shouldn't have to push through. If you're in pain, if you're struggling, give yourself grace. Allow yourself to adjust your life as you need to. One of the biggest things that I've done, which I talked about a little bit earlier, I stopped hiding it and I started sharing it. Hence this video right now. I used to be so aware of my hands. Like, I used to think that everybody knew it, everyone saw it straight away. And I think I was just projecting. I'm not gonna lie, I think I was just projecting my insecurities onto the people around me, because I have had friends for years and years and years, and they've never noticed my finger. And to be honest, because I'm in a place now where I'm so comfortable with it, it's not like I'm bringing it up. I'll bring it up in conversation if it's relevant, and I'll make jokes about it. But like, it's not at the forefront of my mind. And I've had friendships that have stood the test of time, and then one day they'll be like, oh my God, what happened to your finger? And I'll be like, oh my God, did you not know? And then we'll have the conversation, and I'll talk about what happened, the ice skating accidents, and they'll be like, oh my God, I can't believe I never knew that. And then I'll be like, oh my God, I can't believe you never knew that. I don't feel like my limb difference is at the forefront of my identity and my personality, but I'm also not hiding it. And I also share my story with joy and happiness, not because what happened was really sad and really terrible and it caused a lot of problems, but because I'm in a place now where I'm very much at peace with it. And I think it's important to have a sense of humor, and it's important to show yourself love and not get bogged down by what you can't do, because when you make the changes of what you can do, you know, there's no reason to be sad. I want to share a story. So I lived in Japan for 5 years, and during that time I spent a lot of it teaching. I was teaching music and English. I was working in various kindergartens and preschools. I was teaching all the way from like 0 up to 14. So I've done the range of ages, and I've really I've really enjoyed it, and I loved working with kids. I always felt like me and my students had like a really positive relationship, in the sense that they would hold my hand. They'd hold my hand a lot if we were like going out on walks, or like they'd sit in my lap during circle time or lessons or whatever. Like I was quite a soft teacher. I wasn't strict or anything. I was soft but firm, if that makes sense. You know, I had a very positive relationship where these kids would feel very comfortable holding my hands and kind of hugging me and stuff. And it was really nice. And so obviously when the kids are like holding my hands, they'd be looking at my hands. I'd also have quite nice nails a lot of the time. And they'd be like, oh my goodness, Jasmine Sensei, what happened to your finger? And so I'd say like, you know, it was a really long time ago, but I was in an ice skating accident. I'd tell them what happened, because there's no point in hiding it. You know, it's scary, maybe scary for a little kid, but it's reality. Like, this is what happened, and I'm not afraid to tell them. From my experience, the kids' reactions were always really positive. Like, there was always this initial shock. Like, if a kid had noticed it, Jasmine Sensei, what happened? I'll be like, oh, well, I had an accident when I was a little girl, when I was ice skating, and I lost my finger. And they'd be like, oh my gosh. And then they'd shout all the other kids. They'd be like, come look at Jasmine Sensei's finger. Oh my goodness. And then I'd have like all these kids around me, like looking at my finger, like, oh my goodness. And they'd be asking me questions. And sometimes for some kids, the novelty would wear off and they'd kind of just be unfazed by it. And then other times, some other kids would be really nurturing towards it, and they'd want to hold my hand even more, and they'd stroke it, and it's really tickly on the end, and they purposely try and make me laugh because it tickles. And it was just really sweet, and I feel like you can learn a lot from children. It was such a healing experience for me to go through that. Children remind us that the way that we see ourselves is not always how the world sees us. Another way that my limb difference has become my superpower is that I have become very empathetic towards people who are different. Like, I went through this at a very young age, and I think it does kind of instill certain things in you. Whenever I see someone with a limb difference out and about, if it's appropriate, a lot of the time I'll go up to them and be like, hi, like, we are similar, or we've got something in common. Because as someone who has grown up and not really seen it that much, I don't really know many people personally who have limb differences. I think I knew one adult when I was a kid who had her finger trapped in a door and she lost her finger. But that's like, I think that's all I know, and maybe one other person actually. But yeah, like, all adults didn't really relate to kids in that way. And so when I do see people with limb differences, I often wonder if they feel the same. And so I'll go up to them sometimes if I feel like it's the appropriate thing to do, and I'll spark up a conversation. I'll be like, oh, by the way, like, there was a guy when I was having a coffee out one time, and there was a guy who had a big prosthetic leg, and I went up to him and I was like, I love your prosthetic, because it was like this cool, like decorated purple thing. I was like, that's so cool. By the way, I'm missing my finger, but I just wanted to say, like, I love what you've done with your limb difference. And he really appreciated it. He had a huge smile on his face. I feel like I understand these struggles more, and I have a really big heart for people with disabilities and people with differences. This is why I have this channel, really. I want to show it off, and I want to normalize limb differences and invisible illnesses, and all of these things that maybe aren't shown so much and maybe people don't really know much about. Maybe there's stigma around it. The sixth way that my finger has become a superpower is that I have made it part of my identity as an artist. This has been one of the most powerful things I've done. I've already said about like the way I decorate it when I'm on stage. When I'm on stage, I have my finger brace when I'm playing piano. When I'm performing with a microphone, I'll do beautiful hand movements when I'm like on stage performing and people can see it. I'll show it off in photo shoots. This hand for me is not a limitation. This hand makes music, it makes art, it writes, it communicates. This hand has been the reason that I have been able to create such a beautiful life for myself, despite having a missing finger. Help me to write lyrics, help me to play my instrument, and ultimately create a dream. I think that there's always something that we want to change about ourselves. There's always something that we wish was a bit different, something that we wish would change. And I also think that people, myself included, can spend way too long hiding the thing that actually makes them unique, special, and magical. Having a missing finger is not something that I feel like I have to overcome anymore. It's something that I get to carry with me, and I have created purpose from it and made it my biggest strength. So with that being said, as always, thank you so much for watching and have a beautiful day. Mwah!